Might be a bit late.
What's up, guys? KAMIKAZE-FOX coming to you from SRL, the Sandro Racing League. And while there are many SRL leagues, there's only one Sandro Racing League. We are doing round 5, season 6 here at the Circuit of the Americas in Austin. Coming off of a very exciting round 4 at China, where Jenson Randall picked up his second pole position of the year. In fact, his second one in a row, backed it up with his second win in a row. Also his second one of the year. Andrea Lebrun was back to defend the championship points lead. He finished his second. Kevin Weston-Edwards was best of the rest, coming home in third. Sandro Julius had his best run of the year so far to a great 4th place finish, followed by Rennie van der Stappen in 5th. Funes van Houten, who had an amazing blinding start at China, a very Valtteri Bottas start, caught the lights just as they were going out. He finishes 6th. Esteban Hermanos, who was making his SRL debut, finishes in 7th. Max Mulder in 8th. Louis Quinlan was 9th, and Dion Stahl came home 10th. That rounded out your top 10 points-paying positions from the 16-car grid. Colin Higgins was 11th. Robin Herterstegen was 12th. Brian Power finished a race, and that's big news, because he doesn't do it very often, finishes 13th. Liam Hill, who was a big talk last week in his SRL debut, had a great run going. Unfortunately crashed out with his first DNF of the season. He would be classified 14th. Dennis Karenchis, who fought for the lead of the race and a podium spot for most of the race, unfortunately rage quit towards the end. So that's his first DNF of the season, and then Reese March with another DNF. And I will just double check here, but yeah, that's his second DNF, not only of the season, but his second DNF in a row. So Reese will be looking to try and make up for that today. Let's run down the driver lineup for you. Azira 873, that's Funes van Houten in the factory Renault, followed by Sandro Julius in the factory Ferrari. Reese March will be back in the Haas. Louis Quinlan in the Alfa Romeo with Robin Herterstegen. Cameron Weston-Edwards is in the McLaren. Yannick Verpayten, who missed last week's race, will be in the Haas. Brian Power in the Williams. Andrea Lebrun back again, going to be in the AlphaTauri, battling it out with Jenson Randall. And we've got Luke Smith all the way from Australia in the Mercedes-AMG Petronas. He could be a spoiler in today's race. Rennie van der Stappen in the McLaren. Max Mulder in the Racing Point. Dion Stahl in the Ferrari. Liam Hill, followed by Esteban Hermanos, and that's rounding out the drivers for today. We're waiting on a couple other drivers to join in. NFL Addiction Germany says he's I guess he's a fan of COTA. I am not, even though I am American. I think it's a shit track. But that's just one man's opinion. Too many 90-degree turns. It looks like a frickin' 3-year-old put it together using Uno cards. That being said, we've got an interesting championship points battle going on between Andrea Lebrun and Jenson Randall. And once again, defending champion Tim Bentic, nowhere to be found. So I guess Tim's not going to be participating that much this year, but back here at COTA, and apparently Nick Van Gelder is joining me here in the booth. Did not expect that. That's an interesting concept. You slacker. And that is one thing we should probably talk about real quick. Nick Van Gelder, who was in the booth with me last week because of his race ban, not going to be participating again today due to some personal issues and exams for university. So, Nick, I wish you could stay, but I do wish you the best of luck on your exams. And, you know, if you got some time maybe towards the end of the race, you can always pop back in. You got it, Nick. We wish you the best of luck, man. That's it. So as we were speaking of COTA, just want to go over previous winners of this race. Sandro Julius actually won the race back in Season 1, so he does have a little bit of a success here. Season 2 was Pedro Mosquito, no longer with us, unfortunately. Season 3, Killian Brady, the infamous Killian Brady. That was the first season that I started commentating for SRL. Killian Brady went on a tear that year. Season 4, the infamous Vasilios Pelesiotis. And then last year, Luke Mathiasen, who won in the Williams. Unfortunately, Luke didn't stick with us this year, but Luke was a very fast driver. And hopefully we'll see him back in the league someday. But right now, it's all about this.
Nowhere to be found. So I guess Tim's not going to be participating that much this year, but
And Olaf Moll is wondering if Liam Hill is family of Damon Hill, and we made that joke last week. I don't think he is, and judging, I mean, he did have a good drive going last week, but let's get some information up here. We see a lot of these guys going out on the out track. So a dry race expected for the weekend, according to Sandro Dulius, who is our resident meteorologist. Usually lets me know what the forecast is for the races. Dry race, but overcast, which will help keep the track temperatures down here in the heart of Texas. And Lord knows it can get hot down there in the middle of the desert. So keeping the track temperatures down might help some of these guys run the soft tires a little longer than anticipated. But good to have Sandro with us. Good to have Olaf Moll with us as well. Be sure to tell your friends. Be sure to check us out. Be sure to like, subscribe, and comment to the YouTube page. Make sure to hit that notifications button and let you guys know when the next race is happening. So 16 drivers for today's race, and I did notice that there is no Dennis Carenchis, which was actually it's a little surprising. Dennis put in a good show last week. He was, like I said earlier, he was fighting for the win. He was fighting for a podium spot, and he got caught up in a couple of on-track incidences. He was supposed to be given a qualifying ban for his next round, but the stewards, they made the decision, and then they never told anybody about it. They didn't announce it to the league. They didn't tell Dennis Carenchi, so he'll get out from that one. But he was supposed to be given a qualifying ban. The last corner at China, he made contact trying to go around the outside of another car and spun and went backwards. Off track, he was going backwards to get back to pit lane so he could retire the car. Basically rage quit. So, and that was dangerous driving. The stewards felt that there was dangerous driving, and usually going backwards is an automatic disqualification within the guidelines of the game, but because he wasn't on track, they didn't call it. So, but little to no avail. We never told him. It slipped our minds. We never made the league announcement, so he'll get away with that one for now. He'll probably be given a formal warning and possibly add a point to his penalty point system. But that is yet to be discussed as well. So, but right now it's all about the 18-minute short qualifying session, followed by the 50% race here at round 5. We're watching Reese March, and Jensen Randall is the first driver to set a time, 1:36.49, followed by Cameron Weston Edwards, 1:31.161, followed by Luke Smith, who is way off the pace, 1:34.044, and I know Luke's got more pace than that. We're watching Reese March. He's going to come across the line, 1:31.742. Great qualifying effort for Reese March. We'll go ahead and pick up Sandro Dulius. He's coming out of the last corner now. He comes across the line, 1:31.174, so he's just a tick off of Cameron Weston Edwards' time. And Esteban Hermanos with a 1:38.44, so two drivers have cracked into the 1:30s, Esteban and Jensen. Now, we expected that out of Jensen, but Esteban showed he's got some speed in that car. And Funes Van Houten comes across with a 1:32.505. Dion Stahl in the other Ferrari, 1:32.236. So the times are coming in, and they are dropping. We'll pick up Brian Power. And it looks like he's invalidated his lap time. So definitely one of the things to be discussed here is track limits. We see Liam Hill, who is going purple in Sector 2. He's already put in a lap on those soft tires. Must have invalidated his time first time around. And Dennis wants to know if he can join the race. Dennis, yeah, I mean, if you've got an invite, by all means, you might miss the qualifying, but you can get in for the race. 12:30 left to play in the session. And Liam Hill comes across the line with a 1:30.196. Half a second quicker than Jensen Randall, so where did that come from? Olive Mole saying if Liam Hill's a family of Damons, then he'll surely win the race. He put on a great spectacle last week. He wasn't talking the town. Unfortunately, he did crash towards the end of the race, losing the back end and nosing it into the wall. Let's see who we can pick up next. We'll pick up Brian Power again. And it looks like he is on a flyer. He's Sector 2, 102.856. He's yet to set a time because of exceeding the track limits in a couple of corners. In COTA, we did discuss my disdain for COTA. It's a very tough track. It's not... The flow of the track is very obscure. Sector 1, obviously, you've got that great turn 1. That's a fantastic turn 1. You run up the hill. You can take 17 different lines going through turn 1. And then you've got the magical S's that are mashed off of the S's from Suzuka. And you've got the great backstretch. That's Sector 1 and Sector 2, the backstretch all the way down to that left-hander is a great part of the track. But the midsection of this course is just terrible. But we see Brian Power does finally set a time with a 1:34.026. Yannick Verpaeten has set a time of a 1:35.997. Meanwhile, while all this was happening, we missed it. Andrea Latrella has gone 1:29.808. He's the first driver to crack into the 1:29s. We're still waiting on a few other drivers to set a time. We'll pick up Robin Herdestagen. He's in the Alfa Romeo. Coming off of a 12th place finish last week. He's gone, looks like he sets a personal best time in Sector 2. Runs wide at that corner there. And we've got Zunski on the live chat as well saying, "Oi, mate!" So, hi back at you. Good to have you with us. Herdestagen coming out of the last corner now, and Brian Powers retired from the session. Not sure if he's had an off or doesn't think he can do any better than a 1:34.06, but his time will be locked in. Robin Herdestagen 10th quickest with a 1:32.984. We'll pick up Rennie Vanderstapp out on the medium tires. Rennie coming off of a 6th place finish last week. It was a bit of a redemption weekend for Team McLaren. Both drivers finishing in the points. Obviously, Cameron Weston-Edwards with a podium finish, but around China last week, it was China last year where Team McLaren, Rennie Vanderstappen, and Cameron Weston-Edwards ran into some huge problems. Rennie subsequently got a league ban for the rest of Season 5 after round 6 in China last year. Cameron Weston-Edwards was banned for the next race. And apparently Zunski, that's our buddy Theo. He's on the live chat along with Nick. So Rennie Vanderstappen can only muster a 1:32.906. We're going to pick up Max Mulder. Max has quietly been working on his racecraft, getting a little better every week. He races in the sports car series. He's been racing in Formula 1 now. It's done about half a season between last season and this season. So good on Max. And every week he seems to improve just a little bit. So that's all you can ask for out of a young driver like himself, to just improve his racecraft, get better each week, and eventually the points finishes will come, the podium finishes will come, and then eventually the race wins will come. The only two drivers yet to set a time is Louis Quinlan and Max Mulder. We're currently watching Max. Now he's out on the soft tires. Quinlan has yet to set a time, but he's out on the mediums. And it looks like that overcast cloud cover that was out before that Sandro had talked about is now starting to go away. The sun's starting to pop out. The track temperatures are going to heat up. Woo! The tires are going to get hot and slick as you see the back end almost come around on Max's car. Ooh, and he goes really wide there, and he just invalidated his time. He knows it. He blew it. And he's going to back up and head into the pits and try again. So we'll pick up Louis Quinlan. Quinlan dives into the pits as well. 7:30 left to play. We'll pick up Liam Hill. See if he can improve his time. He's actually a 1/10 of a second up on his time coming through Sector 1. He's got traffic in front of him, though. Now, this is Team Red Bull. We're going to see a little bit of teamwork here as Liam Hill is going to get the slipstream off of Esteban. Now, is Esteban going to get out of the way and let Liam by? I mean, these are third and fourth quickest. Jensen Randall cracks into the 129s with a 129.922. We do see Esteban get out of the way, let Liam go by. He's gone purple in Sector 2. Some good teamwork there from Team Red Bull. Riding along with Liam Hill. Only a couple more corners to go. Coming through the last corner now. This one's going to be close. 129.851 goes second quickest in front of Jensen Randall. And that is some good teamwork by Team Red Bull. Shout out to Esteban Hermanos for playing a good team role right there. And we'll see if Liam Hill will return the favor next time around for Esteban. We're going to pick up Sandro Dulius. Looks like he's a little bit off the pace. Looks like he's well off the pace. See if he dives into the pits or see if he'll start another hot lap. Nah, he's going to dive into the pits. We'll pick up his teammate Dion Stahl. Looks like Dion's a second off of his pace as well at Sector 1. So we will try to pick up Jensen Randall. Looks like he is very slowly making his way around the track. Looks like Jensen's going to dive into the pits as well. And Nick Van Gelder brings up a great point on the live chat that him and Yor need to do more teamwork like that at Team Red Bull. And Esteban, and I didn't even think about it, but Esteban and Liam are both basically reserve drivers, so they're Team Red Bull today. But I don't know, Nick, they're kind of showing you guys up right now. We'll pick up Cameron Weston Edwards, who has now dropped to 6th quickest on the timing charts. And Cam has really been... there's always a lot of talks around the Cameron Weston Edwards, and but right now he's the best of the rest, as we're calling it. Andrea Latrella and Jensen Randall clearly in a class by themselves. Basically, the championship points battle after the first 4 rounds is really between those two guys. Then there's a bit of a point separation back to Cam. And Cam is basically in 3rd spot all by his lonesome. He's kind of far back from the top two. He's got a pretty good points gap to the 4th place driver, which I'm not 100% sure who that is. I'm sure Nick could tell me if he gets some time. Oh, and he runs wide coming out of there, and that's going to invalidate his time. We'll pick up his teammate, Rennie Vanderstadt. Rennie is actually 0.3 of a second up over his previous time. He's set that time on the mediums. He's now out on the soft tires. So 3/10 would certainly, 3/10 right now wouldn't even make him improve his spot. So Rennie's got to find a lot more speed. He needs more than 3/10. He needs like 0.3 a sector to really improve his time. Back end almost wants to come around on Rennie's car. Last corner for Rennie. Runs a little wide coming out of there, but it's a 1:31.677. He does do 0.3 plus. He goes 1.2 seconds faster than his previous time. Ends up going 7th quickest, and we're going to pick up Esteban Hermanos, who's now down into 4th. Did that great teamwork with Liam Hill a couple of laps ago. And Team Red Bull at it again. Liam Hill on an out lap, dragging Esteban along. And Liam ducks out of the way at the braking zone. Great teamwork from Team Red Bull. Let's see what kind of time Esteban can make. He's 3/10 up on his previous time. That would crack him into the 129s. That would actually put him second or third with his teammate for the day, Liam Hill. And this is really impressive. This is something that we haven't really seen a whole lot of in SRL. Even when you have, I mean, even Team Ferrari, Sandro Dulius and Dion Stahl, I don't see them often helping each other in the draft. Unfortunately, he goes 0.3 of a second quicker. Was not able to improve his position. But we don't, I mean, Sandro and Dion have been teammates the whole time SRL has even been a thing. And I don't think I've seen them in the last 3 seasons put together some type of teamwork like that. Rennie Vanderstappen, Cameron Weston Edwards, they're friends off track. This is their second year as teammates. We don't see them do it as we see Rennie head to the pits. We'll pick up Louis Quinlan. Quinlan currently 8th quickest, 1:31.716. And time is winding down. 1:20 left to play. Oh, and Quinlan's off the power. He might be letting his ERS recharge. Maybe try to get some juice together for a last-ditch qualifying effort. We are going to pick up Liam Hill because we know he is on a flyer. Actually, he's invalidated his time, so Reese March is going to call it a day. So he'll be locked in at the 1:31.742. And Liam Hill looks like Esteban's going to go into the pits, as is Liam Hill. So they're going to both call it a day. Jensen Randall, he's got 25 seconds to get back to the line. So Esteban calls it a day. Liam Hill's going to call it a day. Andrea Latrella's on an out lap. Is he going to be close enough? Looks like Jensen's going to call it a day. Andrea is going to go around one more time. So time is up. Flying laps will count. We're watching Andrea Latrella. We'll pick up Cameron Weston Edwards. Edwards is 0.2 of a second up on his previous time. A little bit of a slide coming out of there. 1:36.88. Still only good enough for 7th spot. Just a tick off the pace of Sandro Dulius. Sandro looks like he's a couple tenths up of his previous time. Can he snatch away the 4th position? And it looks like now Sandro's finally getting some help from Dion Stahl. So they must have heard me talking. Said if Red Bull can do it, so can Ferrari. Foons Van Houten is done. Robin Herdestagen is done. Yannick Verpayten is done. Luke Smith's on a flyer. We haven't talked about him a whole lot. All the way down to 13th spot. Now, the one race that Luke did participate in earlier this year, he did walk away with a 2nd place finish. And he just goes 1:29.786. Luke Smith goes 2nd quickest. Here comes Sandro Dulius. 1:34.95. Drops to 7th because Dennis Carenchis manages to get into qualifying and goes 5th quickest. Good for him. We're going to pick up Andrea Latrella, comes across the line. 1:29.607. Puts a nail in the coffin, and that is going to do it for qualifying. So, big shout out to, that is a great top 6, top 7 drivers. That is a good qualifying session right there. And Sam Brad trying to point out that him and Reese have worked together as a team. That is true. I'll give you that, but you guys didn't run that high up in the timing charts. Anyways, here's your starting grid. Andrea Latrella, Luke Smith, Liam Hill, Jensen Randall, Dennis Carenchis manages to get in and set a time, 5th quickest. Esteban Hermanos, Sandro Dulius, Cameron Weston Edwards all the way down to 8th, followed by his teammate Rennie Vanderstappen. Louis Quinlan is 10th. Reese March is 12th. I'm sorry. 11th. Foons Van Houten is 12th. Max Mulder will be 13th. Dion Stahl 14th. Robin Herdestagen is 15th. Brian Power 16th. And Yannick Verpayten in the Haas bringing up the rear. But yeah, Sam Brandt and Reese March, they actually do work pretty well together as a team. You see more teamwork from them in the racing than you do in the qualifying. But a big shout out to Liam Hill and Esteban Hermanos, because they're not even teammates. They're just reserve drivers who happen to be in the Red Bull cars today. So shout out to them. I got a feeling we're going to see them promoted to full-time drivers here, maybe in the next few races, which will be really nice. Get us closer to that full grid every weekend. We'll wait for the game to reset here and go through the driving order with the formation lap one more time. And should be an interesting race for sure. And how about the qualifying session for the real Formula One race? Terrible asphalt and torrential rain made for a very interesting starting grid, and I think most of us can all be happy that Lewis Hamilton will be starting deeper in the field. Maybe, just maybe, he runs into some issues tomorrow. Anyways, we'll run down the driving order one more time. Andrea Latrella with another pole position. That is actually his second pole position of the year. He's coming off of a second-place finish. He's actually batting 1,000. He's been in 3 races this year. He's finished on the podium every single race. Starting in second, Luke Smith. He's only been participating in 1 race this year, but he finished second in that race. He's starting second today. Can he snatch another podium away from the other full-time drivers? Liam Hill with that great qualifying effort starting in third. Had a good run last week until he crashed his car. We'll see what he can do today. Jensen Randall, your championship points leader, starting down in the 4th spot. He's splitting the Red Bulls, who put up a great qualifying effort and some great teamwork. Esteban Hermanos will be starting in the 5th spot. And Sandro Dulia is coming off of his best finish of the year last week, finishing 4th at China. He'll be starting 6th today. We'll see if he can do it again, work his way through the field, maybe snatch a podium. Cameron Weston Edwards, best of the rest, starting deeper in the field than I'm sure he would like to have. 7th starting spot for him. We'll see if he can work his way through the field, put some points on the board for Team McLaren, as well as Rennie Vanderstappen. Rennie's been a little quiet this year, but he's always been a bit of a dark horse in the championship. See if he can pull himself together and put some points on the board. Louis Quinlan, bit of an up and down year. He finished 9th last week. He's starting 9th today. I'm sure he would love to put some points on the board. And Reese Marks with one of his better qualifying efforts as of late, starting in a 10th spot. So he can work his way through the field, put some points on the board for Team Haas. And he's followed by Foons Van Houten. We'll see if Van Houten can do another lightning start like he did last week when the lights went out. And Max Mulder starting in the 12th spot for the Racing Point. See if he can work his way into the top 10. And Dion Stahl's got to be disappointed with his efforts. Coda, not one of his better tracks, struggles here in Formula One and in the sports cars as well. Starting down in 13th, followed by Robin Herdestagen, finished 12th last week. He's starting 14th today. We'll see if he can put some points on the board. Brian Power starting in 15th spot. He finished a race last week. That's huge for him. We'll see if he can finish the race again today. Maybe put a point on the board. And Yannick Verpayten missed last week due to personal and work issues. Starting in 16th spot today. And Dennis Carenchis, I guess his qualifying time didn't count. He's starting in 17th. Which is fitting because technically he had a qualifying ban. So I'm good with that. Lights out, time to run what you brung their way to Puff of Smoke. It's a good start for Luke Smith and Andrea Latrella. Here comes Jensen Randall up the inside. Cameron Weston Edwards fans all the way to the inside line. And Luke Smith's got a good run going into turn 1, but Latrella's going to go to the outside, puts the power down, and now they're going to have to tuck in a 1-by-1 as they head into the S's. And Jensen Randall, Liam Hill going side by side into the first set of S's. And it's going to be close. You can't go side by side here. And they all managed to make it through unscathed. Unbelievable. Looks like Dennis Carenchis has already moved up into the 14th spot in just a handful of corners, trying to get around his teammate. And almost some contact there. We've got some shuffling going on here. Cameron Weston Edwards up into the 5th spot. Luke Smith got the slipstream but no DRS. He's going to pull out, shows his face a little bit. Sandro Julius battling it out with Foons Van Houten as they go into the corner. It's 3 wide as we get back here. That's not going to work in a tight corner like that. Looks like Foons Van Houten's going to come out on top, takes the couple of positions away. But behind him is Esteban Hermanos and Sandro Julius. Julius going to get back to the inside. There's a little bit of bumping and grinding going on, a little bit of argy-bargy going through there. Esteban looks like he's going to lose another spot to Louis Quinlan. Quinlan trying to go around the outside. Woo! And Esteban cuts across the nose of Louis Quinlan, shuts the door on him, and here comes Reese March trying to get that back. Meanwhile, we've had an incident. Nope, that's just timing and scoring being screwed up. Thank you, Codemasters. So this is Luke Smith. This is actually the battle for the lead, not the battle for 10. God, Codemasters, get your shit together. It's unbelievable. So that is Andrea Latrella is actually the leader of this race, followed by Luke Smith and Jensen Randall. And I can't even pick the right driver. It's all screwed up right now. Good God. That's Liam Hill. Oh, he's got around Jensen. Okay. Oh, and it looks like Esteban's had an issue. He is all the way back in last, not first. Looks like he's pitted for a fresh set of softs. He must have maybe picked up some wing damage through all that. So now the front runner is getting a little bit more separated here. Latrella's picked, well, he hasn't picked anything up. Latrella is the leader of this race. Bit of a gap over Luke Smith. Liam Hill has moved into third. He's gotten around Jensen Randall. Cameron Weston Edwards still is in fourth, followed by his teammate in sixth. Sandro Julius is closing in on that gap. Foons Van Houten can breathe easy for a hot second. Almost lost the back end of that car. He picked up a 3-second time penalty there. He's followed by Louis Quinlan, and Louis Quinlan is under pressure from Reese March, and now going to be starting lap 3, so the DRS is enabled, so good corner by Reese March, trying to stick with Louis Quinlan. Then down through these S's. These S's are really tough when you're following the car in front. A lot of dirty air. You get a lot of aero wash over that front wing. Whoa! And that was, I don't know, I guess that was a glitch. Oh, and Brian Powers retired from the session. Oh, Brian. Let's see if we can pick up where Brian went off. Probably somewhere in the S's. Yep. And we've got ourselves a safety car. Looks like Brian has had a massive off. Let's see if we can pick him up. Yep, you can see him off to the side there. Oh, my God. So safety car is out, and pit road is about to get very, very busy. So Brian Power, who did finish a race last week, unfortunately, this is the norm for Brian. This is all too often we find him with a DNF. So unfortunately for him, another one to go against his mark. He led the league in DNFs last season, along with, I think actually him and Jan Holm led the league in DNFs. This is his second DNF of the season and only 4 races. So Andrea is going to stay out. Luke Smith is going to go into pits. Jensen Randall stays out. Cameron Weston Edwards stays out. Looks like Rennie Vanderstapp is in. Robin Herdestag, and Herdestag has played this card before. He's going to stay out, pick up a ton of positions. He's going to move himself up into 4th. Yannick Verpayten is into 5th. Luke Smith comes out of the pits in 6th spot, followed by Liam Hill and Rennie Vanderstapp. Sandro Julius as well. And Liam Hill, look at Liam Hill, the only driver along with Dion Stahl to switch over to the hard tires. Liam is, he's the only driver that within the front runners that has switched over to the hard tires. Dion Stahl, he did switch over to hards, but he's all the way back in the 15th spot. And Esteban Hermanos is going to pit for a second time and come out on hard tires as well. So Team Red Bull running the same tire strategy. This is good for Esteban, though. Esteban needed this. He was way off the pace, way in the back, all by his lonesome after having an incident pitting on lap 1. So safety car, good on him. So Andrea and Jensen, now this is the championship points battle, not just the battle for this race. They're going to have to still pit along with Cameron Weston-Edwards, Robin Herderstagen. And this is actually a pretty familiar spectacle here. We've got Andrea and Jensen fighting it out for the lead and the win of this race. Cameron Weston-Edwards, the best of the rest, running in third once again. Cam still looking for that maiden SRL victory. Been in the SRL League for many years now and hasn't been able to quite snatch away a win. He's come close a number of times. He is, in fact, an SRL Indy 500 champion. He did win the Indianapolis 500 over the summer. But even though he won that race, he still wants that F1 win so bad. And I kind of want it for him because Cam has been such a part of this league for so long. He also started IRL, which has obviously blown up into a very big league in the last number of years. And me and Cam, we've dealt with each other for a number of years now. So I want it for Cam. Cam wants it for himself. I think it would be a good win for SRL, but he's really improved his racecraft, especially his starts over the last couple seasons. But they're just, as it is in racing, there's always somebody quicker than you. So he just hasn't been able to snatch that. And Dennis, I don't know why you started 17. You did qualify 5th technically, but for what it's worth, you were technically given a qualifying ban, so it all kind of works out. That, and Dennis is he's up to 13th. He's also pitted and put on the medium tires, so everything seems to be right in the world right now. Just waiting for the safety car to come in, hopefully at the end of this lap. So the first driver to watch is going to be Luke Smith. He's the first driver that pitted, switched over to the mediums. Given Luke's pace, he should be easily able to overtake Yannick Verpayten. Robin Herderstagen might be a little harder to get by. And then he's going to have to deal with the likes of Cameron Weston-Edwards. So the first few laps should be pretty interesting, especially for the top 4 runners still on the soft tires. Safety cars in this lap. Andrea is going to pick his spot to blast off. And there he goes, off to the races. Green, 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 and he gets a good jump coming out of that last corner, and look at him just speed away. Great jump by Andrea Latrella. Jensen not as close as he was, for sure. Closes up big time under braking. And Luke Smith already working his way up into 4th, got around Yannick Verpayten and Robin Herderstagen. So Luke Smith making quick work of that, and now sets his sights on Cameron Weston-Edwards. Now, these guys, I'm sure, have raced each other before. Louis Quinlan picked up a 3-second time penalty. I know Luke and Cam have raced each other on track before, but the last couple of seasons, Cam has really stepped up his game. He's really become a really aggressive defender. And we talk about it almost every week, but look at this. Luke Smith just closing it in on under braking. Meanwhile, Fons van Houten is getting around Yannick Verpayten as well. Sandro Julius picks up a 3-second time penalty. Here comes Luke Smith. He's in the slipstream. No DRS, but he's getting really close. Can he try and outbrake him? He's going to try and go to the inside. And a big move. And Cam's going to try and do the crossover. Gets the power back down there side by side. Luke's going to try and push him wide. Cam goes for the crossover again. Cam not giving up. He's all the way to the inside. And look at this, Cam dives under. This is some unbelievable wheel-to-wheel action. Shoulder to shoulder, these guys going at it. Cam wants that podium back. They're still side by side coming out of that corner. Luke's eventually going to get the better of him. Whoa, and a big moment there for Cam. Woo, Cam sliding that car coming out of the corner. And Yannick Verpayten has crashed out. Where has he gone off at? So Luke Smith able to get by Cameron Weston Edwards, and he's making a gap right now. See if he can close it down to Jensen Rando. He's 1.7 seconds back. Jensen's lost touch of Andrea just a tick. 0.8 of a gap between them. Liam Hill closing in on Cameron Weston Edwards as well. So Liam Hill closing the gap down to Cameron Weston Edwards. Edwards starting to struggle on those older soft tires. Louis Quinlan with another 3-second time penalty. He does pick up a position as he gets around Rennie Vanderstappen and then goes side by side. And they're going to almost touch. Woo-hoo! And around the outside goes Rennie. He can't hang tough out there very long. Meanwhile, Foons Van Houten is all over the back of Robin Herdestegen. And look at this gaggle of cars back here. This is the 7th through the rest of the field. All bunched up together. This is all the way down to 13th position. DRS is enabled. Look at all these cars riding in a train. Meanwhile, Liam Hill's just gotten around Cameron Weston Edwards. Foons Van Houten getting around Robin Herdestegen. He's all over the gearbox. Oh, and it's going to be 3 wide. Here goes the 2 Alfa Romeo side by side. It's not going to work through the S's, guys. Woo, that's close. Quinlan all over the back of Foons Van Houten. And a 3-second time penalty for Cameron Weston Edwards. We've seen that bite him in the butt all too often. And I can tell you right now, 7th through freaking 15th are all running under a second from each other. Time penalties are going to be huge as Rennie Vanderstappen goes side by side with Herdestegen. He's going to get the position. Dennis Carenchis is all over the back of him. Oh, and they almost touch. It looks like Herdestegen wanted to make a move on Vanderstappen. Didn't know Dennis was there. Dennis makes the move, but he's going to have to go around the outside. And there's Reese March. Look at this unbelievable gaggle of cars going around this track right now. Oh, he's almost to the back of Rennie Vanderstappen. Meanwhile, Foons Van Houten trying to get to the gearbox of Louis Quinlan. Reese March and Herdestegen. Looks like March is going to get the 10th spot. And Dion Stahl picks up a 3-second time penalty. This is getting really crazy back here. Look at this. This is unbelievable. Why can't real F1 be like this? And Cameron Weston Edwards is going to dive into the pits. Looks like Sandro Dulli is going all the way to the inside, going to try and take 2 spots. He's going for the 2-for-1 deal. And he's going to get it. Sandro 2-for-1 coming out of turn 1. Gets by Herdestegen. Reese March is up into 9th. He's all over the back of Dennis Carenchis. Carenchis is all over the back of Rennie Vanderstappen. Luke Smith picks up a 3-second time penalty. This is some unbelievable racing. God bless the safety car that brought this together. Herdestegen still battling it out. Dion Stahl, what happened to... Oh, Esteban has gone around. Looks like he probably had a little bit of help. And these 3 cars, Dion Stahl to the inside of Herdestegen. He's going to get the position, pushes him very wide. Meanwhile, Carenchis trying to get around Vanderstappen. He's going to make it work. Whew. And Carenchis is up into 7th. Looks like he's going to start skipping away. He'll set his sights on Foons Van Houten, 1.8 seconds ahead of him. Meanwhile, Van Houten and Louis Quinlan still battling it out with each other. This is a battle for 5th. This is a good run for these guys. Meanwhile, Andrea Latrella leads Jensen Randall by 1.1 seconds, so Jensen has fallen out of the DRS range. Luke Smith is sitting pretty in 3rd right now. He's the first driver who had pitted under the safety car. He's still waiting for Andrea and Jensen to pit. Sandro Julius is going to dive into the pits. Looks like Sandro got some, Sandro's got some wing damage. It's disappointing. So he's going to fall back. Meanwhile, Foons Van Houten still battling it out with Louis Quinlan. Rennie Vanderstadt battling it out with Dennis Carenchis. Carenchis managed to get around him. Rennie running really tight lines through the S's. Playing dangerous with exceeding the track limits. Reese March right behind him for the 8th spot, running at 9. Meanwhile, Luke Smith is starting to close that gap down to Jensen Randall. And Randall really starting to close up the gap to Andrea Latrella. So the top 3 cars running with each other. And this is good news for Luke because Luke is, like as I said, the first one to pit it under that safety car. So he's got the fresher mediums. Be interesting to see if Luke tries to run them all the way to the end of this race or if he can get a big enough a gap to maybe pit and come out in front for a fresh set of tires. The pit stop delta here is about 22 seconds. That was some unbelievable racing here, and we see Luke Smith now within half a second. And Luke, even though he's in that AMG Petronas Mercedes, he don't care about the championship fight. He is only here for himself. He was in one race earlier this year as a reserve, ran 2nd, fought for the lead of that race. He's doing the same thing today, and Luke is out for himself, and that is okay as a reserve driver. Championship points battle be damned. He's out for the win. And Dennis Carenchis just picked up a 3-second time penalty. We see Cameron Weston Edwards is getting around Esteban Hermanos, heading into turn 1 and down the hill into the S's. Meanwhile, Luke Smith is in a good spot. He's going to have the DRS advantage going down this long back straightaway. Jensen's got it as well. Luke's not going to be close enough to make a move. Really caught up under braking there. A little bit of a twitch coming out of Jensen's car. He's on 10-lap-old softs. The sun is out. The sun is shining. The track temperature's going up. Those softs are going to get greasy. They're going to get slick. And Luke, riding along with Luke, you can hear the throttle input. He's being real Izzy and Ginger on that throttle right now, trying to save those mediums. He might be trying to run them towards the end. I haven't seen a lockup out of the car. He hasn't been hard on the downshifts. And now Andrea and Jensen are going to head into the pits. Luke Smith is off to the races all by himself. And now it's up to the pit crew. Who's going to come out first, Andrea or Jensen? Jensen hits the pit box first. He's off and away. Here comes the AlphaTauri team. Andrea. Oh, and he's got, I don't know if that's a glitch. Looks like he's going to get out in front of Jensen just by a little bit. These guys are going to drop through the field quite a bit. And the racing back here mid-pack has been unbelievable. And they're going to come out behind Reese March and Rennie Vanderstadt and Andrea trying to get around Reese. And Reese is now up to 7th spot, and that's a really good run for Reese March. I don't think he's going to want to give up that spot too easily, and even if he does, he's going to have to deal with the likes of Rennie Vanderstappen. And Rennie, we know, can be very aggressive. He takes a little bit of the playbook out from Cameron Weston Edwards when it comes to defending his spot. So, meanwhile, up ahead, we've got Dennis Carenchis looking to make a move on Foons Van Houten. Down the straightaway, Foons is trying to snake his way down the straightaway, break up that slipstream. Dennis with a great run up into what is possibly going to be 4th, heading into the braking zone. Ooh, and they rub just a little bit. They're still side by side. Crossover move, great move by Dennis Carenchis, gets the power down. He baited him into that, and now Foons is on the inside. And again, Foons is going to try and push him wide. This is some unbelievable driving from Foons Van Houten, who's really upped his game the last couple of weeks. Last week he had that blinding start at the beginning. I mean, he caught the lights just as they were going out. Unbelievable timing. Foons now going to go all the way down the inside wall. Carenci's going to have to go to the outside, heading up into turn one. There's nothing Foons can do. And look at this, Louis Quinlan, by the way. Oh, look at that. Foons tried to outbrake Dennis Carenci's, and he outbraked himself. And Louis Quinlan is up into third, followed by Liam Hill up into second. Liam Hill 4.5 seconds back from Luke Smith, who is running out front all by his lonesome. Foons Van Houten is not done. And here comes Andrea Latrilla on the fresh set of mediums, picking up the 5th spot. He's going to set his sights on Dennis Carenci's. Now, Carenci's and Latrilla raced each other hard last week for the podium spot and the top spot. And Dennis, I know Dennis wants a little bit of redemption after last week. He's not going to go silently into the night. Here comes Andrea. He's going to try and go right on the outside. Big lock up there on the left front. Dennis runs a half a lane towards the inside. Woo! I thought Andrea was going to stuff it down the inside, dive bomb a little bit. And Jensen Randall looks like he's getting around Foons Van Houten as well. And Rennie Vanderstapp is coming into play now. Foons going to lose another spot. Meanwhile, Latrella and Carenci still battling it out. And this should be easy for Andrea. Oh, Dennis looks like he's got that Racing Point trimmed out a little bit. Andrea couldn't get there. Around the outside, Dennis is going to be in a good position here because you don't want to be this close to the car in front. Through the S's, going to pick up some aero wash. The front end's going to want to push out. Meanwhile, Rennie Vanderstapp's closing in on Foons Van Houten. We're going to stick with this battle here, though. Jensen Randall is now starting to become a part of this as well. Oh, and a big lock up there. I think Dennis braked a little more than I think Andrea thought he was going to. Oh, and he dives to the inside. And that was a bold move trying to get in there. Definitely scrubbed some speed. Dennis took a more preferred line through there. Gets the position back. Louis Quinlan picked up a 3-second time penalty. That's too bad for him running into third spot. And now Dennis is going to have to fight off Andrea and Jensen Randall. Way to the outside. Here comes Jensen Randall to the inside. And we've got an amazing 3-car battle. Meanwhile, Louis Quinlan's looking at his mirrors going, God, I hope they all wreck. Louis Quinlan having a great run. Luke Smith just picked up a 3-second time penalty, though. Dennis Carenci's holding off Andrea Latrella. Andrea almost lost the position to Jensen Randall as he went wide in that first S. And Randy Vanderstapp picks up a 3-second time penalty. Time penalties are going to really mix up this finishing order. This is unbelievable racing. We're working lap 15 of 28. We're halfway through the race at this point. And again, Andrea all over the back of Dennis Carenci's. Carenci's has got his car a little bit more trimmed out. He's got the DRS advantage. And again, a little bit of a nudge there from Andrea. Another lockup from Andrea. You know, and and he's going to try and go to the inside again. This is Andrea trying to do the same move he did last time. Dennis is going to get the power down. And they're side by side as they head through the corner, but it looks like Andrea's going to come out on top. Carenci's to the inside. Now he's going to take away the inside line. He's going to get next to him. He's going to push him wide coming out of the corner. And once again, they're both going to have DRS, and it's a drag race down the front straightaway. Louis Quinlan looking in his mirror going, what am I going to do with these three drivers behind me? Oh my goodness, they all outbrake each other. Jensen Randall tries to get the 2 for 1. Andrea holds the spot. Dennis Carenchis loses 2 positions going into the corner. That was some bold braking from Jensen Randall and Dennis Carenchis. Andrea running the smart, more methodical preferred line. Hangs on to the position, and he's going to set his sights on Louis Quinlan. Now, Quinlan, I think, knows he's not as fast as Andrea. I don't think he'll put up much of a fight. I think Louis really, after the last few seasons that Louis had, finishing a race and putting points on the board, I think is the most important thing for him. If he gets a surprise podium this year, that'll be a huge plus. But right now, I think it's all about putting points on the board for Team Alfa Romeo. You see Andrea's going to go to the inside, easily outbrake him. He's got the DRS advantage. Meanwhile, Rennie van der Staap finally, I don't know, he's trying to get by Foons Van Houten. This battle's been going on for a number of laps as well. And this is a 3-car battle because you've got Rennie van der Staap, Foons Van Houten, and Reese March. Meanwhile, Liam Hill has got the lead cut down to Luke Smith, down to 3.5 seconds. Uh-oh, and Carenchis just got back around Jensen Randall for the 5th spot. And Andrea has gotten around Louis Quinlan. We saw that for the 4th spot. So, oh, and Jensen's going to head into the pits. What's happened to Jensen Randall? Oh, looks like he's had some wing damage. I don't know if that was contact with Dennis or just from battling it out really hard. Something that could be looked at later, but Dennis Carenchis back up into the 5th. He'll set his sights on Louis Quinlan. And Quinlan trying to hang tough with Andrea through the S's. He's just outside of the DRS range. And Cameron Weston Edwards picks up a 3-second time penalty, running all the way down in 10th. The safety car really jumbled up the running order, and the pit sequence has been a little jacked up because of its sense. And Quinlan so close to the DRS range, he's going to be just outside of it. He's not going to be able to get it. Meanwhile, while all that was happening, Liam Hill, as I said, has the lead cut down to Luke Smith under 3.5 seconds. We know Luke Smith has 1 3-second time penalty to his credit. Reese March now going to try and make short work of Foons Van Houten going around the outside. And this battle just won't stop. Now, Rennie van der Staap's managed to get by them and skip away just a little bit. Reese trying to get to the inside. Foons is trying to pinch him all the way down to the curb. Reese going to try the crossover move. Can he get the power down? Straightens the wheel out, trying to get more traction down. Ten laps to go in what has been a very exciting Circuit of the Americas U.S. Grand Prix. And here we go, Reese March with the DRS. Goes to the outside. Who's going to outbrake who? Oh, and Reese wanted to do the crossover move so bad. Foons Van Houten played it perfectly, not giving him the line or the opportunity. Liam Hill just picked up a 3-second time penalty. So now they both have a 3-second time penalty. And now Reese March picks up a 3-second time penalty. The finishing order is going to be so jumbled after this. I cannot wait to see who's going to come out on top. Right now, Luke Smith and Liam Hill both have a 3-second time penalty to their credit. They would both finish first and second. Andrea Latrella is coming. He's 13.3 seconds behind the first. I should say he's 13.3 seconds behind Liam Hill, who's 3 seconds behind. That's a 16-second gap back to Andrea for Luke Smith. Foons trying to break up the slipstream. Again, Reese is going to go to the inside. He's a little bit easier on the brakes. Meanwhile, Jensen Randall just got around Max Mulder for the 12th spot on a fresh set of medium tires. While these two are battling it out, Cameron Weston Edwards is reeling in Dion Stahl. This is for the 9th position. So as this race goes on a little bit, it looks like Cam's tires are going to start coming to him. A lot of these mediums will start wearing out. Now, Dion's on the hard tires as well, but as we spoke earlier, Coda is not one of Dion's better tracks. And we see a couple of guys heading into the pits. This is Dennis Carenchis, Foons Van Houten. And we're going to pick up Dennis. I don't know if this is a scheduled pit stop for him or not. Looks like, he's been in and out, fresh set of softs, so he's going to try and run his way back towards the front. Meanwhile, Cameron Weston Edwards still within a striking distance of Dion Stahl. Sandro Julius is going to be able to get by Foons Van Houten during the pit sequence. And Robin Herderstagen is going to pick up a spot as Max Mulder pits, slides back into 15. And Sandro Julius picked up another 3-second time penalty. And Carenchis is already trying to make short work. This is Esteban Hermanos. Whoa, and all the way down to the inside. Esteban running him down towards the wall. And Esteban, you're not going to be able to hang tough with a driver who's got fresh softs like that. Dennis Carenchis makes quick work of Esteban. Meanwhile, Cameron Weston Edwards within half a second now. Under half a second to Dion Stahl. And Luke Smith and Louis Quinlan both pit. So now Liam Hill is your leader. He's got Andrea Latrella 12 seconds back from him. Luke Smith switches over to a fresh set of softs. Louis Quinlan switches over. A lot of these guys... Man, this is going to be a really interesting last 8 laps of this race. Jensen Randall just ran the fastest lap of this race at a 1:34.238. Jensen Randall all the way down to the 8th position. So Luke Smith, he's got that 3-second time penalty. He is coming. He's closing the gap down to Andrea Latrella. It's down to 3 seconds. Andrea is... Oh, we're going to go back to that. Who was that? That's Louis Quinlan and Esteban Hermanos. This is the battle for 8th. We're going to keep tabs on the timing and scoring at the front. And Quinlan to the inside. Ooh, and they touch. Woo, that was close. Quinlan getting a little aggressive, trying to get back to the racing line. Esteban trying to hold his own on those older hard tires. And now Cameron Weston Edwards finally gets around Dion Stahl on the back straightaway. So Cam back up into 4th position. Meanwhile, Andrea is now under 12 seconds to Liam Hill. And Luke Smith is 2.1 back from Andrea. And he can see him. And it's now under 2 seconds. Luke Smith is coming. And he's going purple in Sector 3. Meanwhile, Foons Van Houten, Reese March battling it side by side. It's a 3-car battle for the 11th spot. That's Reese March, Foons Van Houten, Sandro Julius, and it may not be for points, but it is for pride. Dennis Carenchis runs the fastest lap of this race, down in 6th position, 1:33.335. And things are really heating up towards the end of this race. 7 laps to go. And Rennie Vanderstappen getting by Esteban Hermanos. And Esteban's going to be looking back at this race going, I should have freaking pitted for some better tires. As he is now down into the 10th spot. He was running midfield. He's now the last points-paying position. And to be fair, Reese March and Foons Van Houten are coming on a fresh set of mediums versus 16-lap-old hard tires. Meanwhile, while all that was happening, we missed it, but Luke Smith has passed Andrea Latrella for the 2nd position and now sets his sights on Liam Hill. He's got 11 seconds to make up on Liam Hill in the final 7 laps of this race. Can Luke Smith do it? And it is now down to 10.3. Luke Smith is coming. Meanwhile, Jensen Randall closing the gap to Louis Quinlan, and Andrea Latrella just picked up a 3-second time penalty. And Dennis Carenchis is now setting his sights on Dion Stahl. Dennis Carenchis and Luke Smith, these guys that are running this 2-stop strategy, switching over to softs late in this race, this is really paying off for them a lot better than I thought it would. And there you can see Cameron Weston Edwards in the fold as well. So Dennis Carenchis is going to get around Dion Stahl for the 4th spot, set his sights on Cameron Weston Edwards. Edwards probably not going to make life very easy for Dennis, but Dennis is on those fresh softs versus hard 12-lap-old hards. Meanwhile, the gap at the front is now 8.5 seconds, and Rennie Vanderstapp just picked up a 3-second time penalty. That could cost him a position towards the end of this race. Man, I am excited to see how this race pans out. I am excited to see how these timing penalties are going to play into the fold, because right now it is safe to say none of these guys are going to finish in the position that they're sitting in right now. This is unbelievable. And here we go. Dennis Courageous to the outside. Cam's going to slide all the way to the inside. I don't think there's much Dennis is going to be, well, it's not, I don't think there's much Cam's going to be able to do. I tell you, if you catch Cam on the straightaway, life's pretty easy. You catch Cam without DRS, it's like trying to get around a brick wall. So Louis Quinlan on the fresh set of softs. He is now actually caught up to Dion Stahl as well. And Louis Quinlan, he is flying right now through Sector 2 and into Sector 3. And he's going to go to the inside of Dion Stahl. I don't think there's going to be much Dion can do. Oh, excuse me. What is going on here, Gabe? Meanwhile, Luke Smith, 6.1 seconds behind. 5 laps to go. Louis Quinlan just picked up a 3-second time penalty. Sandro Julius is getting around Foons Van Houten. Van Houten not giving up the position. They go side by side into the first set of S's. He's going to have to concede the position to Sandro as they go single file through the S's. Front end washes out on him. Meanwhile, Rennie Vanderstapp closing in on Jensen Randall and Dion Stahl. Dion Stahl just seems like every time I pick up somebody here in the last couple of laps, if they're gaining a position, it's over Dion Stahl. Here goes Jensen Randall around him. Rennie Vanderstapp's going to get caught, not be able to get around him. Jensen Randall moves into the 7th spot. And Louis Quinlan on Cameron Weston Edwards. And again, this is where you don't want to catch Cam, is in a position like this. You're not going to get around him here in Sector 2 and Sector 3. You're going to have to make your move onto the front straightaway. Now, Quinlan's known to be his own worst enemy and be a little impatient as he looks to the inside. And it looks like Louis Quinlan is going to be easily able to make that move. Cam's going to pitch him, though. Cam's going to pitch him all the way down to the inside. They touch wheels. Cam swings to the outside, going to try and do the crossover move. Doesn't want to give up the position that easily. Can't hang on to it. Meanwhile, Jensen Randall and Rennie Vanderstapp. Rennie trying to hang tough. Dion Stahl picks up a 3-second time penalty. Gap to the leader for Luke Smith, 3.8 seconds with about 3.5 laps to go. Oh, and Hermanos has left the session. Esteban Hermanos, running in a 10th spot, leaves the session. Not sure if it was an internet problem. This could be semi-good news for Reese March. Reese should be easily able to pick up the 10th spot, as Esteban's car will go AI, and the AI cars obviously slowed down a ton in comparison to some of these drivers, so Reese March will be able to pick up that 10th spot. And Reese March goes around him. Luke Smith, 3.2 seconds at the line, 3 laps to go. Luke, you've got to pick up the pace just a tick. Don't get another time penalty. Meanwhile, Jensen Randall, Rennie Vanderstapp now all over the back of his teammate, Cameron Weston Edwards. Will there be any team orders here? Cam, I'm sure they're probably in a party with each other. Cam, not going to make life too difficult for his teammate. Doesn't really want to give up the spot, I'm sure, but Rennie's going to have to run wide. They're side by side. And looks like Cam's going to give it up. Now Cam should hold up Jensen Randall. Oh, and Cam picks up a 3-second time penalty. That sucks. So Rennie Vanderstapp into the 6th position. Cameron Weston-Edwards, see if he can hold up Jensen Randall and give Rennie some breathing room. Meanwhile, it is now 2 seconds to Liam Hill. 1.8 seconds to Liam Hill. Luke Smith is coming. .6, and it looks like he's finally going to get to him with a little bit of breathing room as far as the laps are concerned. 3 laps to go. And he's 1.4 seconds behind. Meanwhile, Sandro Dulius is getting around Foons Van Houten, trying to at least to get the 11th spot. And they're side by side. They rub wheels a little bit. Foons back to the inside. Sandro trying to hang tough on the outside, tries to get that power down. He's going to have the more preferred line. Crossover move by Foons Van Houten. Sandro tried to keep it tight, but Foons went for it. Good move by Foons Van Houten. Sandro tried to keep that line tight to prevent that from happening, but a good move by Foons. Sandro's going to get his bearings back. He's within half a second, so he's still within striking distance of Foons Van Houten. Meanwhile, back to the lead of this race. Liam Hill's got Luke Smith within DRS range. And Dennis Carenci's just picked up a 3-second time penalty running in the 4th spot. Rennie Vanderstapp picks up a 3-second time penalty running into 6th spot. This is going to be so jumbled at the end of this race. For anybody that is watching, you are in for what is going to be an epic finish, I'm sure. The timing penalties are going to jumble up the finishing order of this race for sure. And Liam Hill made his SRL debut last week, was running great up towards the front and in the mid-pack. Crashed late last week. He's leading this race. He's about to lose the lead to reserve driver Luke Smith as he goes to the inside, tries to outbrake himself, and he's going to just get in front of Liam Hill. And Liam, I don't think, is going to be able to hang tough on those 22-lap-old hard tires. Luke Smith back to the lead now. Luke Smith needs to not pick up any more time penalties and spread the gap. Meanwhile, Foons Van Houten and Sandro Dulius still battling it out for this 11th position. A battle for pride. Sandro versus Foons, Ferrari versus Renault. And it looks like Foons is able to prevail just a little bit there on those fresher mediums versus those old hard tires. Meanwhile, Liam Hill still within striking distance of Luke Smith. Now, Luke is the faster, well, I will say he's the faster driver. He's on the faster tires. You see the back end kick out on Liam Hill's car. Cameron Weston-Edwards with another 3-second time penalty. Those have been his worst enemy this year. He actually lost his victory at Australia because of time penalties, and he's probably going to end up losing a couple of positions here today at the end of this race. Meanwhile, Luke Smith finally able to spread the gap to over a second, so Liam Hill is out of DRS range. Meanwhile, this battle that just won't quit back here for 11th. Oh, Foons Van Houten and Sandro Dulius battling side by side. The battle that won't quit. It's going to come all the way down to the wire. Sandro's going to have the DRS advantage here on the back straightaway. All the way down to the wall and almost into the grass. And look at the Sandro's going to go to the inside. And they're still side by side as they head through this next quarter. Now, this is where Foons has been really strong today, is in this sector here. Sandro going to take away that line that Foons has been running, trying to get the deck to the inside, and they touch. And Liam Hill picks up a 3-second time penalty. That's some breathing room for Luke Smith. Meanwhile, Rennie Vanderstapp is getting around Louis Quinlan. They're side by side. They touch going into the S's. Louis Quinlan goes around. You can't go side by side through there. Neither driver was willing to give up the spot. Get it going, Louis. Get it going. You can still finish in the points. Time penalties are going to be a factor here on the final lap of this race. Meanwhile, Luke Smith leading his way, and Foodman, Houghton, and Sandro Dulius refuse to let this battle stop as they head through the S's. Meanwhile, Luke Smith coming through Sector 3, the last few corners. Luke Smith's been in one race this year, finished second. This will be his second race of the season. He's going to come across the line first. Can he hang on to it with timing and scoring penalties? Here comes Luke Smith. He comes across the line first. Here comes Liam Hill. He'll finish second. And Andrea Latrella, who is 13 seconds behind, he is going to come across the line in third. Nothing's changed so far. Dennis Carenchis, another 11 seconds behind. Now, he's got a couple of timing penalties, I think, against him. He's going to come across the line, hang on to fourth spot for now. We'll pick up Rennie Vanderstappen. Now things, I think, are going to start getting a little jumbled. Rennie comes across the line. Jensen Randall picks up the fifth spot. Cameron Weston Edwards is now going to be seventh. Louis Quinlan, who only lost a few positions, he is able to finish eighth. Dion Stahl comes across sixth place. Reese March is ninth. Louis Quinlan drops to 10th. Sandro Dulius trying to hang on to the 11th spot. Finally gets it away from Foons Van Houten. Esteban Hermanos, his car will come across the line in the 13th spot. Robin Herderstagen is going to be 14th. So Dion Stahl, with no timing penalties apparently, that's the only way Dion could jump from 10th to 6th. An unbelievable run for Dion Stahl. I will hand it to Dion. That is a class drive right there to go from 10th to 6th with no timing penalties. Huge day for him. Luke Smith, he's got my vote for driver of the day. Coming in another one-off race for Luke. Playing reserve, walks away with the win. Driver of the day, Dennis Carenchis, according to the game, after starting in the 17th spot. I will give credit where credit is due. He did start 17th, finish in 4th. But Luke's got my vote as he does the moonwalk coming out onto the podium. I love it. And that is a huge win for Luke Smith. Mr. Rocket League himself putting it on a show today. Did a two-stop strategy, made it work against the likes of Liam Hill. Liam Hill in his second race for SRL puts up his maiden podium finish. Good on him. Andrea Latrella did exactly what he needed to do and finish in front of Jensen Randall to get back the championship points lead. So here's your unofficial results for today's race. Luke Smith with the win. Liam Hill finishes second. Andrea is third. Fourth is Dennis Carenchis. Jensen Randall does manage to get fifth because of timing penalties. Dion Stahl, unbelievable. He only had 2 time penalties versus everybody else. Rennie Vanderstappen had 18 seconds worth of penalties. Cameron Weston Edwards had 12. Reese March is 9th. Louis Quinlan is 10th with 18 seconds worth of time penalties. Sandro Dulius musters out an 11th place finish over Foons Van Houten for 12th. Esteban Hermanos is 13th. Robin Herderstagen 14th. Max Mulder 15th. Yannick Verpayten 16th. And Brian Power is 17th. And that was an incredible race. Unbelievable. Coda doesn't put on this good of a show unless it's IndyCar. So, congratulations to Luke Smith. And we've got Nick Van Gelder, who I'm sure was watching that incredible race. Nick, did you see the end of that race? Did you see any of it? What's your thoughts on today's action? And we don't have Nick. Maybe there's a network issue. Either way, crazy race today. Or he might be muted and doesn't know it, but unbelievable race. Be sure to check us out in a couple weeks where we'll be back. I think we're going to be doing in a couple weeks, we're going to be doing the Gran Turismo Sport GT3 series. I think that's set to kick off at the 1.2 hours of Bathurst. That's going to be a lot of fun. You can check us out on Instagram, like, subscribe, and comment to the YouTube channel. Be sure to subscribe. Click that notification button. That way you don't miss a race of this action, especially in the Formula One season. This is only round 5 of what is going to be a full F1 calendar this year, all 22 races, including Brazil. So be sure to check us out as the season drags on. The championship battle is heating up between Andrea Latrella and Jensen Randall, and an amazing run today by Luke Smith. I want to thank everybody for joining us. And be sure to check us out at the next round.